In the first question, it says that the grocer sells potatoes, mushrooms, and carrots. A customer buys 3 kgs of mushrooms at $1.04 per kg and 4 kg of carrots at $1.28 per kg. Calculate the total cost. So for the total cost, we will do 3 times 1.04 plus 4 times 1.28. That is going to add up to $8.24. Then it says, in 1 week, the ratio of the masses of vegetables sold by the grocers, potatoes to mushrooms to carrots, is 11 to 8 to 6. Work out the mass of mushrooms sold as a percentage of the total mass. So that's going to be for mushrooms, it's 8. So 8 over sum of all the values in the ratio, 11 plus 8 plus 6, and then times this fraction by 100. So that's basically 8 over 25 times 100, which equals to 32%. Then it says the total mass of potatoes, mushrooms, and carrots sold is 1,500 kilograms. Find the mass of carrots the grocer sells this week. So 1,500 kilograms, so 1,500 multiplied by 6 over 25. 6 is the number allotted to carrots in the ratio. So that's going to give us 360 kilograms. Then the profit the grocer makes selling 1 kg of carrots is $0.75. Find the total profit the grocer makes selling carrots this week. So the carrots were 360 kilograms. So we multiply the profit from 1 kg to 360 to find the profit after selling 360 kilograms of carrots. And that equals to $270. On the last day of the week, the grocer reduces the price of 1 kg of potatoes by 8% to $1.15. Calculate the original price of 1 kg of potatoes. So if he's reducing them by 8%, that means 1.15 is basically 92% of the original price. Original price is X over here. So 1.15 times 100 over 92. And that equals to $1.25. That is the original price for 1 kg of potatoes. Then it says the grocer buys 620 kgs of onions, correct to the nearest 20 kg. He packs them into bags, each containing 5 kg of onions, correct to the nearest 1 kg. Calculate the upper bound for the number of bags of onions that he packs. Now, number of bags is going to be total weight divided by weight in each bag. So as you can see, to find the number of bags, we're dividing the two quantities. In division, when you're trying to find the upper bound, your numerator will be upper bound and denominator will be lower bound, which means for the total weight, we need to find the upper bound, and for the weight of each bag, we need to find the lower bound. So for the total weight, let's focus on the upper bound for that. So it says that 620 kgs of onions are correct to its nearest 20 kg. So this nearest 20 kg is your degree of accuracy. So first we will divide the degree of accuracy by 2, which will give us 10 kg. So that means the upper bound is going to be 620 plus 10 kg. When it's upper bound, you add. When it's lower, you subtract. So 630 kg is your upper bound. Now focusing on the lower bound. Degree of accuracy in that case is 1 kg. So 1 divided by 2 is 0.5 kg. So lower bound for the weight of each bag would be 5 minus 0.5, which is 4.5 kg. So now for the number of bags, we divide the two quantities. 630 divided by 4.5, and that gives us 140 bags. So that's your answer. Remember, for upper and lower bounds for division, if it's the upper bound, then the numerator is upper bound, denominator is lower bound. If they're asking you to find the lower bound in division, then it's the other way around. Numerator is lower and denominator is upper. Same for subtraction. When you're trying to find the upper bound in subtraction, you subtract the minimum value from the maximum value. And for the lower bound, it's the other way around again. But for addition and multiplication, if it's upper bound, you use both upper bound values. And for lower bound, you use both the lower bound values. Question 2 says A, B, C, and D are points on a circle. ADX and BCX are straight lines. Angle BAD is x degrees and angle DCX is y. Explain why x equals to y. Give a geometrical reason for each statement you make. So if we look at x and y, this over here, A, D, C, B is a cyclic quadrilateral. Why is it a cyclic quadrilateral? Because all the vertices touch the circumference of the circle. So it's a cyclic quadrilateral. And for a cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles add up to 180. So if this is x, this would be 180 minus x. So if we put 180 minus x plus y equals to 180, we can see that y would be equal to 180 minus 180 plus x, and y equals to x. The reason why I put 180 minus x plus y equals to 180 is because both 180 minus x and y lie on a straight line, and they're supplementary angles. Angles on a straight line are supplementary angles, hence they add up to 180. So for the first reason, you will talk about the cyclic quadrilateral, where opposite angles add up to 180 degrees. And for the second part, angles on a straight line are supplementary, thus they add up to 180 degrees. That's your reasoning for the statement. Then it says show that triangle ABX is similar to triangle CDX. So ABX, let's highlight that. And then we have CDX. ABX, CDX. Now, if you notice, angle X and Y were said to be the same. And point A and C are corresponding. So these two angles are equal. And for the lengths, and for the other angle, if you look at this angle, if this is, let's say, Z, this would be 180 minus Z as well. So when you would subtract, so going back to the same case as X and Y, this angle would also be the same as this angle, so this would be Z as well. So as you can see, the two angles are already same. The third angle would definitely be same because it's already the common angle. So if we call this A angle is already the same for all of them. So since the angles are already the same, that means the lengths are going to be enlarged by the same scale factor. So these two triangles are similar. Then part C says AD is 15 centimeters, DX is 9 centimeters, and CX is 12. Find BC. As given in the question, AD is 15, DX is 9, and CX is 12. So we can say that CX over AX is the same as DX over BC plus CX. CX is our hypotenuse over here, and AX is the hypotenuse over here. Like it's not, I don't know if it's the hypotenuse, but like, it's like the slant length. And DX over here is this length over here, and BC plus 6, the corresponding length on the other triangle is this one. So CX is going to be 12 over AX is 15 plus 9, and DX is 9 over BC plus 12. So that's 12 over 24 equals to 9 over BC plus 12. That's 1 over 2. So then BC plus 12 equals to 18. And BC is 18 minus 12. And that is 6. That's your answer. Let's just complete the statement. When the ratio area of triangle ABX to area of triangle CDX is blank is to 1. So from the previous part, we know that the ratio for the lengths was 12 over 24. So for area, we square that ratio. So 12 over 24 is basically 1 over 2. And 1 over 2 square is 1 over 4. So it's going to be 4:2. Question 3 says table shows information about the marks gained by each of 10 students in a test. So we have a row for the marks and a row for frequency. Just calculate the range. Range is your difference between the highest and the lowest value. So highest value over here is 20 and the lowest value is 15. So 20 minus 15, 5 is your range. Then it says calculate the mean. So for the mean, we will multiply the frequency value with the marks value and then add for each column that's given in the table. So what I mean is that we'll do 15 times 4 because 4 people have 15 marks. Then 1 person has 16 marks. 2 people have 17. 1 has 18. 0 have 19, so I don't add that. And 2 have 20. So this gets divided by the total frequency. That's given as 10. So this will add up to and give us 16.8 as our mean value. Then it says find the median. So median is your middle value. So since there are 10 students, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we need to see the fifth value that's right in the middle. But if we write this down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's an even number of values. So for even number of values, we look at the 2 values in the middle. So 2 values in the middle are going to be the 5th and the 6th value. So we need to find the value which is right in the middle of the 5th and the 6th value. So that's basically the 5.5 value. So first four values are over here, the fifth value is over here, and the sixth and seventh value are over here at 17, which means our 5.5th value is going to be in the middle over here, which is at 16.5. So that's our median value. Once again, when we have an even number of data sets, we pick the two values in the middle and then find the value in the middle of those two values because that's right in the middle of the data set. For an odd number of values, you can easily see which value comes in the middle of the data set because it equally divides the data sets into two equal parts. In our case, since it was even, we look at the fifth and sixth value and find the value right in the middle of the fifth and sixth one, which in our case turned out to be 16.5. So that's the answer. Then it says right on the mode. So mode is highest frequency, and highest frequency over here is for the mark 15. So that is your mode. Part B says Paolo's mean mark for 7 homework tasks is 17. After completing the 8th task, his mean mark is 17.5. Calculate Paolo's mark for the 8th task. For the first 7 homeworks, his mean mark is 17. So that means sum of 7 homeworks divided by 7 equals to 17, which means the sum would be equal to 17 times 7, which is equal to 119. Those are his total marks for the first 7 homeworks. Now, after completing the 8th task, his mean is 17.5, which means 119 plus score on the 8th task divided by number of tasks, which is 8, equals to 17.5. First, 7 homeworks are getting the same score, that's 119. To that, we're adding the score of the 8th homework, which means the total number of homeworks now turn out to be 8, and the mean mark for that is 17.5. So to find the score on the 8th one, we will do 17.5 times 8, 140. So 119 plus the score on the 8 tasks equals to 140. Find the difference of 140 and 119. That equals to 21. That is Paolo's score on the 8th task. Then says the table shows the percentage scored by each of 100 students in their final exam. So we have a row for percentage, and in that we have class intervals for that, and then we have the corresponding frequency values. On the grid, draw a histogram to show this information. So as you can see, for a histogram, we need the frequency density. Frequency density has the formula of frequency over class width. So frequency density for the first one will be 12 over 30. Class width is the difference between the maximum and the minimum value of the class interval. That's going to give us 0.4. And for the next frequency density, that's going to be 18 over 20, which equals 0.9. Then we have 35 over 10, 3.5, 20 over 10, that's 2. And lastly, 15 over 30, that's 0.5. So these are our frequency densities for each of the intervals. Now they've already given a scale, so we use that scale to draw the bars. First one from 0 to 30, so let's mark 30 first. 10, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 30. 50 would be 1, 2. 50 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 50. And 70 would again be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70 over here. 0 to 30, the frequency density is 0.4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is our bar. Then for 30 to 50, it is 0.9. Then from 50 to 60, it's 3.5. Somewhere over here. I think I should just draw the line. Okay, we have 50 to 60, then 60 to 70. That is 2. And 70 to 100 is 0.5. That's your histogram. Question 4 says diagram shows a pyramid with a square base BCDE. The diagonals CE and BD intersect at M, and the vertex F is directly above M. BE is 12 centimeters and FM is 9 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the pyramid. So volume is going to be 1 over 3 times 12 times 12 and then times 9, which is the height. So that gives us 432 centimeter cube. Then it says calculate the total surface area of the pyramid. So for the total surface area of the pyramid, we need the area of the triangular faces and the base. So for the triangular faces, we need to find this length. This is basically the height of the triangle. So what we can do is, if we draw a triangle like this, we know this M is the midpoint, so this is going to be 6. So using Pythagoras, we can find the length, the slant length basically of the pyramid and use that to find the area of the triangles. So we can do nine square plus 6 square equals to x square. So that's going to be 81 plus 36 square root to get the value of x, which is going to equal 10.82 centimeters. So now area of 4 triangles is going to be 1 over 2 times the base, which is 12, and height is 10.82. This is going to give us 259.68 centimeters square. So now total surface area is going to be 24, which is 144 plus 259.68. 144 is the area of the square base. So that adds up to 403.68 centimeters square. So we could even round that to 403.7 centimeters square. That's your answer. Part B says diagram shows a toy made from a cone and a hemisphere. The base radius of the cone and the radius of the hemisphere are both r centimeters. The slant height of the cone is 3r centimeters. The total surface area of the toy is 304 centimeters square. Calculate the value of r. So basically, we have to find the radius. So for the hemisphere, it's going to be 2 pi r square. And for the cone, it's going to be pi rl, because the base is joined with the hemisphere, so that's out of the surface area. All we have is the curved surface area and the curved part of the hemisphere. So for this, the radius is r, for that is also r, but L is 3r. So pi r times 3r, that's 3 pi r square. So 2 pi r square plus 3 pi r square equals to 304, which is the total surface area of the toy. That's 5 pi r square. So we're going to divide 304 by 5 pi, and we're going to square root the result. So that is going to give us 4.4 centimeters. That's the radius of the hemisphere and cone. Question 5 says factorize x squared minus x minus 12. So this is a quadratic equation. You can factorize this using splitting the middle term. So we multiply the coefficient of x squared with a constant. So 1 times 12 is 12. Then you find factors of 12. So that's 2 and 6 and 4 and 3 apart from 1 and 12. So you have to choose that set of factors which when added or subtracted gives us the middle term, which is -1 over here. So that's only possible with 4 and 3. So you replace the negative x with negative 4x plus 3x, and everything comes as it is. Now you split this equation into two groups, where the first two terms make one group and the last two terms make another group. So in the first two terms, we have x common. So write x brackets x minus 4. And the last two terms, we have 3 common. So plus 3 brackets x minus 4. Take the x minus 4 common, so that's x minus 4 times x plus 3. That is basically your fully factorized answer for this quadratic equation. Then it says simplify x squared minus 16 over x squared minus x minus 12. So we're going to use our answer from the first part in this. Denominator is x minus 4 times x plus 3. For the numerator, if you notice, we are subtracting two square terms. So that means we'll apply difference of perfect squares over here. So difference of perfect squares says that a square minus b square equals to a minus b times a plus b. Hence, x squared minus 16 is going to be x minus 4 times x plus 4. There's no specific order to writing this product. You could also write x plus 4 first and then write x minus 4. Either way, it's correct. So once we factorize the numerator as well, now we see what's common in the numerator and denominator. So as you can see, we have an x minus 4 in the numerator and denominator. So we can cancel those out. And what we're left with is x plus 4 over x plus 3. That is your final answer. Then it says simplify 2x minus 3 whole square minus x plus 1 whole square. If you see the pattern, it's the same difference of perfect squares. Now they've put two brackets that are being squared. So which means you could easily do 2x minus 3 plus x plus 1, and then 2x minus 3 minus x plus 1. So that's actually, we don't even need these brackets. So that's going to be 2x plus x is 3x, minus 3 plus 1 is minus 2. 2x minus x is x, minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. So this is your fully simplified answer. If you want, you can expand this. You can even leave it as it is. Either way, your answer is correct. So 3x minus 2 times x minus 4. Those of you who are not still comfortable with doing difference of perfect squares, you would be expanding it, but expanding it would be very time consuming. So I would advise starting with difference of perfect squares, putting your answer like this, and if you still want to expand it, you can just expand the bracket then and give your answer with like an expanded version rather than a factorized version. Then part C says write as a single fraction its simplest form, 2x plus 4 over x plus 1 minus x over x minus 3. So whenever we're adding or subtracting fractions with unlike denominators, the rule is to make the denominators equal. So what we can do is, to the first fraction, we can times it by x minus 3. And second fraction can get multiplied by x plus 1. So that's going to give us x minus 3 times 2x plus 4 over x minus 3 times x plus 1 minus x times x plus 1 over x minus 3 times x plus 1. So let's combine it as a single fraction. So that's x minus 3 and x plus 1. We can expand the bracket over here. So that's 2x squared plus 4x minus 6x minus 12. You multiply x with both the terms in the second bracket, then negative 3 with both the terms in the second bracket, then minus x squared minus x over here. So 2x squared minus x squared is x squared. 4x minus 6x is negative 2x minus x is negative 3x and negative 12 divided by x minus 3 times x plus 1. If you want, you can expand the brackets in the denominator or leave as it is. Either way, your answer would be correct. Then it says expand and simplify. So we have a triple bracket that they want us to expand. So let's start with the first two brackets. X minus 3 times x minus 5 is going to be x squared minus 5x minus 3x plus 15. This gets multiplied to 2x plus 1. Collect the like terms in the first bracket. So that's x squared minus 8x plus 15. Now we expand the brackets. So x squared gets multiplied with all of the terms in this third bracket, or like the second bracket now. So that's 2x cubed plus x squared minus 16x squared minus 8x plus 30x plus 15. That is 2x cubed minus 15x squared plus 22x plus 15. That is your answer. Then part E says solve the simultaneous equations. You must show all your working. So for this, if you notice, we have a linear equation and a quadratic equation. So to make it simple, we're going to substitute the linear in the quadratic. So let's make x the subject. So it's going to be x equals to 13 plus 3y. Let's call this the third equation. This is the first, this is the second. So we're going to sub the third equation in the second one. Sub means substitute. So 2 brackets 13 plus 3y squared minus 9y equals to 116. So that's 2 brackets 169 plus 78y plus 9y squared minus 9y equals to 116. Expand the bracket. So 2 times 169 is 338 plus 2 times 78, 156y plus 18y squared minus 9y equals to 116. Collect the like terms, so 18y squared and 156 minus 9 plus 147y plus 338 minus 116. I brought it to the left-hand side. So 338 minus 116 is 222. So 18y squared plus 147y plus 222 equals to 0. So this is our equation. You can clearly see that we can't solve it using splitting the middle term. So it's easier to just go for the quadratic formula. So now for the quadratic formula, what we need is the a, b, and c value. A is the coefficient of y squared, which is 18. B is the coefficient of y, which is 147. And c is your constant, which is 222. So we're going to substitute these values in a quadratic formula to find the value of x. So x is going to be minus 147 plus minus root of 147 square minus 4 times 18 times 222 divided by 2 times 18. That's going to equal to negative 147 plus minus 75 over 36. So one value of x is going to be negative 147 plus 75 over 36, which equals negative 2. And the other one is going to be negative 147 minus 75 over 36, which equals 6.16 recurring. This is y, not x, to avoid the confusion. These are our y values. Okay, so y is negative 2 and negative 6.16 recurring. So now we're going to substitute these in the third equation, which was the x1, to find the value of x. So x is going to be 13 plus 3 times negative 2, which gives us 7. And x equals to 13 plus 3 times negative 6.16 recurring. That gives us negative 5.5. So x is 7 and negative 5.5. These are your values of x and y for this simultaneous equation set. Question 6 says the diagram shows triangle ABC with AB equals to 17.2 centimeters. Angle ABC is 54. Angle ACB is 68. Calculate AC. So this is what we're trying to calculate. If you notice, triangle ABC has both angles, one corresponding length for the given angle. So we need to find the other one. So that easily allows us to use the sine rule, where you need one complete set of angle and length. So for the one complete set of angle and length, we're going to use 17.2 over sine of 68 equals to AC over sine of 54. Cross multiply 17.2 times sine 54 over sine 68, and that equals to 15.01 centimeters. That is the length of AC. Then it says M lies on BC and MC is 12.8. Calculate AM. So AM is this one. So we already found this one to be 15.01. We have this length. I need to find this. So if you notice, we have two lengths and the angle between them for triangle AMC. So whenever we have two lengths and the angle between them, we always use cosine rule to find the third length. So we will do AM squared equals to 12.8 squared plus 15.01 squared minus 2 times 12.8 times 15.01 times cos of 68, which is going to give us 245.19, square root both sides. So AM is going to be 15.6 centimeters. That's your AM. Then it says calculate the shortest distance from A to BC. To find the shortest distance from A to BC, we can easily use SOHCAHTOA. We know this is 15.01. We have an angle. This would be the right angle. So we need this length. So if we do sine of 68 equals to x over 15.01. 15.01 times sine 68 equals to x. And that gives us 13.92 centimeters. That is the shortest distance from A to BC. Question 7 says that we have two vectors, vector P and vector Q. They want us to find 3Q. So you multiply 3 with the vector Q, and that is negative 12 and 15. Then says find P minus Q. So you subtract the both. 8 minus 5 minus negative 4 and 5. So that's 8 minus negative 4 is 12. Negative 5 minus 5, negative 10. So 12, negative 10. Then it says find the magnitude of P minus Q. So basically find the magnitude of 12 and negative 10. So that's going to be square root of 12 square plus negative 10 square. That's going to be 144 plus 100. 244 square root, and that gives us 15.6. That's the magnitude of P minus Q. Part B says in a triangle OMN, O is the origin OM with the vector A, and ON is B. S is a point on MN such that MS to SN is 5 to 3. Find in terms of A and or B the position vector of S. Give your answer in its simplest form. We have to find the position vector of S, that means OS. And OS is this. This is what they want us to find. So if we find MN first, MN is going to be MO plus ON, which is negative A plus B. Since we're changing the direction, so the sign is negative now. So MS is to S, N is 5 is to 3. So MS would be 5 over 8 times MN, which is 5 over 8 times negative A plus B. And Sn would be 3 over 8 times negative A plus B. So to find OS, I could say I'm going from O to M and M to S. So OS would be OM plus MS, which is OM is A and MS is 5 over 8 times negative A plus B. That's 8 in the denominator and 8A minus 5A plus 5b over here, which is equal to 3a plus 5b over 8. That is your position vector for S in terms of A and B. Question 8 says on the axis, sketch the graph of y equals to 4 minus 3x. So the graph of 4 minus 3x, we need to find the x and y intercept. At x equals to 0, y is going to be 4 minus 3 times 0, which is 4. So one point is 0, 4. And then at y equals to 0, which is going to be our x-intercept, 0 equals to 4 minus 3x. 3x equals to 4, and x is 4 over 3. So 4 over 3, 0 is our other intercept. So 4 over 3 in decimals is basically 1.3 recurring. So if this is 1, let's say this is 0.5, so this is 2. So 1.3 recurring, let's say, is over here. This is our point, and the other was 0, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's over here. Connect the points, and this is your graph. Then on the axis, sketch the graph of y equals to negative x squared. So since it's negative x squared, that means the reflection in the x-axis. So it's going to be upside down. So this is going to be a graph. If it was positive, it would be above the x-axis. Since it's negative, it's below the x-axis. Then it says find the coordinates of the turning point of the graph of y equals to 10 plus 9x squared minus 2x cubed. You must show all your working. So for the turning point of a graph, we differentiate the graph. So dy by dx for this is going to be 18x minus 6x squared. We put the derivative equal to 0. So dy by dx equals to 0 because this is where the turning points are. So 0 equals to 18x minus 6x squared. We can clearly see that we have 6x common. So we have 3 minus x in the bracket. So 6x equals to 0. 3 minus x equals to 0. One value of x is 0 and the other is 3. Now, since it says coordinates, we substitute these back into the original graph to find the y value. So y equals to 10 plus 9 times 0 square minus 2 times 0 cube, that is 10. And y equals to 10 plus 9 times 3 square minus 2 times 3 cube, and that's going to give us. So when x equals to 3, y is 37. So our first set is 0, 10, and then we have 3 and 37. These are our coordinates for the turning points. Then it says determine whether each turning point is a maximum or a minimum. Show how you decide. So for that, we differentiate the first derivative again. So dy by dx was 18x minus 6x squared. So when you differentiate this again, which is basically find the double derivative, that's 18 minus 12x. So at x equals to 0, our second derivative is giving a value which is greater than 0. So that means it's minimum. And at x equals to 3, our second derivative is giving us a value which is less than 0. That means it's maximum. So basically, whenever your second derivative is greater than 0, that means that point is a minimum point. And whenever it's less than 0, that means that point is a maximum point. So to sum it up, the minimum point is 0, and 10. And your maximum point is 3 and 37. That's how you decide the nature of the points. Question 9 says, Jana and Kamal each invest $8,000. At the end of 12 years, they each have $12,800. Jana invests in an account that pays simple interest at a rate of R% per year. Calculate the value of R. So she's using simple interest, so that means 12,800 minus 8,000 is equal to 8,000 times R over 100 times 12. In simple interest, the formula just gives us the value of the interest. It doesn't give us the final value. So using this, we know that this is going to be 12,800 minus 8,000 is 4,800. This is 80 times 12. That's 960 R. So 4,800 divided by 960 is 5. So your rate of interest is 5%. Then Kamal invests in an account that pays compound interest at a rate of R% per year. Calculate the value of R. So now it's compound interest. So final value, which is 12,800 equals to 8,000 times 1 plus R over 100 to the power of 12. So we do 12,800 divided by 8,000. And then you find the 12th root of that. That's going to give us 1.0399 equals to 1 plus R over 100. 1.0399 minus 1 equals to R over 100, which is 0.0399. Times it by 100, that's going to be 3.99%. That is your rate of interest for Kamal's investment. And since the population of a city is growing exponentially at a rate of 1.8% per year, the population now is 260,000. Find the number of complete years from now when the population will first be more than 300,000. We're going to assume values for the number of years and see after how many complete years the population will be first more than 300,000. So let's begin with like n equals to 8. So it's going to be 260,000 times 1 plus 1.8 over 100 because it's growing exponentially to the power of 8. 299,885.5. So closer to 300,000. So let's increase the number of years to 9. So that's 260,000 times 1 plus 1.8 over 100 to the power of 305,283.5. So as you can see, find the number of complete years from now when the population first be more than 300,000. So that's when n equals to 9. So after 9 years. So for such question, you just have to use trial and error. Assume with a value and then keep on changing depending on what answer you get. Question 10 says the table shows some values for y equals to 2x cubed plus 6x squared minus 2.5. So they've given us the values of x. They want us to find the missing values of y. So for this, all you need to do is substitute the x value into the equation, solve it to find the corresponding y value. when your x is -3, y should come out as -2.5. When it's -0.5, y should come out as -1.25. And when x is 1, y should be 5.5. These are your missing values of y. Once we have completed the table, they're asking us on the grid, draw the graph of this equation when x is between -3 and 1. So basically, I have to just plot these points on the grid below. The first point is -3 and -2.5. So x equals to -3 and -2.5. That's here. So basically, this is our point. Then -2.5 and 3.75. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is in the middle. So -2.5 and 3.75. That's if this was this. Each is 2. So 2, 4, 6. Somewhere over here. I would say somewhere over here, yeah. Then -2 and 5.5. That. -1.5 and 4.25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's -1.5 and 4.25 is 2, 4, so somewhere over here. These groups are tiny. Then, where are we? We don't need this. We don't need this now. -1 and 1.5. -1 and 1.5. Yep. And -0.5 and -1.25. -0.5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. -1.25 is 2, 4. Let's say that's that. 0, -2.5. That is this. And 0.5 and -0.75. So 1 and 5.5 I know are going to be here. So let's plot that first. 0.5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, -0.75, so that I'm guessing over here. 2, 4, 6. Okay. So now time to connect these tiny little dots. So, oh no, that doesn't make sense. That was positive. 3.75 is yeah, not this. Okay, now we can connect them correctly. This is so not looking good. I think I should draw this one again. Okay, finally, this is our graph. Next, they want us to draw a suitable line on the graph that solves the equation 2x cubed plus 6x squared equals to 4.5. And then the equation 2x cubed plus 6x squared minus 2.5 equals to k has exactly two solutions. Write on the two possible values of k. So for the first one, it's equal to 4.5. So if you rearrange the equation, so if we compare this equation with the one given in the question below, that's 2x cubed plus 6x squared equals to 4.5. So basically, if we move the negative 2.5 on the left-hand side, for that to become 4.5, so we need to draw a line at y equals to 2. Equals to 2 line is going to be over here, this. So you're getting three values over here. This, and this. So this one over here is this is this, and this one is this. So this is basically 2.7, negative 2.7. This one is negative 1.05. And this one is coming out to be 0.8. These are my values of x and y is equal to 2. And it said that we need to find the solution, the line of equation equals to k, and they have two possible values. So for two possible values of k means we need those points where we're only getting two values of x. So that's over here. And that's over here. Basically, this thing and this. So we have negative 2.5 and we have 5.5. This is 5.5 and this is negative 2.5. So these are the two values of k. Question 11 says f of x equals to 1 over x, g of x equals to 3x minus 5, and h of x is 2 to the power of x. Find g of f of 2. So first let's find f of 2. That's going to be 1 over 2. Then you put that in g of x, so that's going to be g of 1 over 2. Be 3 times 1 over 2, and then minus 5. So that gives us negative 3.5. This is g inverse of x. So for that, we put the function equal to y equals to 3x minus 5. Right now, y is the subject of the equation. We need to make x the subject. So we move 5 to the other side. So it becomes y plus 5 equals to 3x. Then we divide both sides by 3. So y plus 5 over 3 equals to x. So last step is replace the x with g inverse of x and y with x. So x plus 5 over 3 is your inverse. If you compare the original and the inverse, in the inverse, every number is performing the opposite thing. In the original, 3 was being multiplied to x, now it's dividing. 5 was being subtracted, now it's adding. Then it says find its simplest form g of x minus 2. So we're changing the domain of g of x from x to x minus 2. So that's 3 times x minus 2 now. So that's 3x minus 6 minus 5, which is 3x minus 11. That is your simplest form. Then it says find the value of x when f of gx equals to 0.1. So for f of gx, we're going to substitute g of x into f of x. So that's going to be 1 over 3x minus 5 equals to 0.1. 1 equals to 0.1 times 3x minus 5. So that's 1 equals to 0.3x minus 0.5. 1 plus 0.5 divided by 0.3 equals to x, and that is going to give us 5. X equals to 5. Then it says h of x minus g of 7 is equal to 0. Find the value of x. So h of x was 2 to the power of x minus 3 times 7 minus 5. So that's 2 to the power of x minus 21 minus 5. So that is 16. So move 16 to the other side. 2 to the power of x equals to 16. We know 16 is 2 to the power of 4. So replace that with 2 to the power of 4 and x equals to 4. That's your answer. Question 12 says the diagram shows a circle of radius 12 centimeters with a sector removed. Calculate the perimeter of the remaining shaded shape. So this is 12, this is also 12. And for the length of arc, we use the formula. So perimeter is twice of 12 plus 50 plus, now for the angle, it's going to be 360 minus 50, which is 310. So 310 over 360 times 2 pi r. This is your length of arc, which is the curved part, and then you add the radius to it 2 times to find the perimeter of the remaining shaded area. And that is going to leave us with a value of 88.9 centimeters. Then it says the diagram in part A shows the top of a cylindrical cake with the slice removed. The volume of the cake that remains is 3,510 centimeter cube. Calculate the height of the cake. So for that, we need the area. And for the area of the cross section, we do 310 over 360 times pi 12 square, which equals to 389.56 centimeter square. So volume is basically your cross section times the height. So cross section area is 389.56. Height is what we're trying to find. So 3,510 equals to 389.56 times the height. So we divide 3,510 by 389.56 to find the height. And that is going to give us 9.01 centimeters. That is the height of the cake. So remember, volume is basically your cross-section area times the total height or length of the shape. So since we can easily find the cross-section area using the area of a sector formula, we have the angle of the sector, that's your intent. We have the radius. Plug in the values, you have the area. Then you divide the volume by the area to find the height of the cake. So that's your answer.